Good morning. My name is Jeff Engel. I'm Executive Director of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Washington, and thank you very much for joining us today for the Big Brunch. Although we would love to see you in person, we are grateful we can share some highlights from this past year with you while also keeping everyone safe. In spite of COVID, we stayed true to our mission to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth, serving over 170 youth, 170 volunteers, and 170 families in 2021. Our community and site-based bigs and littles were excited to start meeting in person again, and we experienced a huge increase in the number of youth seeking a mentor. To support this surge in demand for our programs, we hired back staff to build capacity. Our STEAM Learning Lab had a busy year hosting 5 weeks of camp in partnership with the City of Olympia. In addition, the STEAM Learning Lab offered several match activities along with tutoring for our littles. One STEAM camp attendee said it best, "My parents send me here to learn, but they don't know I'm just having lots of fun." For our high school student mentors and littles, we introduced several exciting career exploration programs, giving them an opportunity to learn up close, see parts of various fields of work, and ask questions of professionals in fields like architecture, veterinary, and HVAC. The board and staff continue to explore ways to better serve our youth through their work around social justice, equity, inclusion, and diversity. This work, though challenging, is essential to provide the best for our youth, volunteers, families, and community. To keep our bigs, littles, and their families engaged, we offered several activities, including a drive-through trick or read with over 150 kids receiving a book and candy. The Valley Athletic Club partnered with us for a summer pool party and barbecue, and the Fish and Wildlife Department hosted a fishing outing for our bigs and littles. The holiday brought a greater need for support for our families than ever. And thanks to our generous donors, we provided 20 families with a Christmas tree and over 30 families with much appreciated presents and essentials. We are very optimistic with the prospects for 2022. With the addition of several new staff members, we are positioned for safe and strategic growth. The need for our services has never been greater, with child safety as our #1 priority. We cannot do this work without the support of our exceptional volunteer mentors, sponsors, donors, board members, and staff. If we learned anything from COVID, it is to be flexible, resilient, and accommodating. The pandemic is not going anywhere soon and continues to cause significant stress and trauma for many youth, along with the challenges they were already facing before the pandemic. One-to-one mentoring provides youth the support of a caring and positive individual during a critical period in their young lives. We would love having you explore becoming a big. I just recently became matched again with a 10-year-old, and between sports, hiking, building rockets, I've had as much fun as he has. I realize from personal experience that this is a huge commitment, but the reward of seeing a youth succeed is worth it. Hearing things like, "I'm more comfortable with her and feeling closer, she feels like family to me," from a little in one of our school-based programs, and from a big in our community-based program who says, "Time with my little is something I look forward to the most in my retired life," are just two examples of the impact these friendships are having. There are several ways to support BBBS, from becoming a volunteer to providing much-needed funding. Either way, you're making a positive difference in a young person's journey. I would like to take a few minutes to recognize our sponsors, our 2021 Community Partner of the Year, and some of our outgoing board members. First, a big thanks to this year's Big Brunch sponsors: Olympia Federal Savings, Olympia Orthopedic Associates, MPH Holdings, RHD Enterprises, Flying Colors Painting Company, and Toyota of Olympia. We are grateful for your partnership and investment in our mission. We truly could not do this without you. Our Community Partner of the Year for 2021 is the Stars Foundation. Year after year, the Stars Foundation has supported our mission and helped us provide meaningful matches to hundreds of youth in our community. Their commitment to enriching the lives of youth and creating possibilities they wouldn't have otherwise, plus their willingness to volunteer their time, are just two examples of why we are recognizing them today. We are beyond grateful for all that the Stars Foundation has provided Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and our community as a whole. This year, we have several board members retire, and we want to extend our thanks to them for their years of service to the organization. Kara Meyer, Mark Boyer, and Craig McElfresh. Thank you all for dedicating your time, talents, and resources to ensure youth in our community have a caring mentors. We are excited to highlight 2 of our matches with you this morning to show you the real impact our mission is making with your help. Thank you for being here today and for your ongoing support.
I'd say we're similar because we both like stuff like board games, and we're both kind, and we just have the same energy.
I think Jeremiah has a really big heart, and he's super creative, and
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he's a good person, and he's very excited about life and everything.
Because I used to have, not so much really anymore, I used to have anger issues, and then once we got matched, she taught me how to control it, and then I have never outburst at anyone anymore. I'm
just happier overall, and less emotional, and less upset. He doesn't get as upset anymore about anything. He lets things flow and lets life happen to him, and he takes it with stride. I heard about Big Brothers Big Sisters because a friend of mine would post about it on social media. She would meet with her little, and it just looked really exciting. He is one outgoing, excited little man. He's just full of life and laughter and lots of love. He's very artistic and friendly and outgoing and likes to talk with people, and he reaches out to people. Jeremiah is just happier overall. It's only an hour a week. I just use my lunch break to meet with Jeremiah, and if anything, it keeps me less stressed from work. I have, there's positives to that, and it's an exciting thing to do on Mondays. When I come to work, I know that I'll have an hour to spend with Jeremiah. I love the look on his face when he sees me, and he's usually waiting and very excited, and so I know that I'm having an impact on him every week.
It's not the greatest because I don't live with my mom or my dad because they're just not in a good place right now. So I live with my grandma, and I'm happy. Sometimes I get a little sad, but nothing I can't deal with. I want to pursue being a chef. Really all foods and stuff, dessert. So my plan is I want to go to culinary school to work on being a chef, and then I want to open a restaurant. So I get really along with girls, not much boys. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know why. So we just have the same kind of flow, you know? I'm calmer, and I'm not as emotional. It's because she just brings me in a really good mood, and it's something to look forward to every week, and it just brings me joy. She brings me joy.
My name is Molly. I work for the Washington State Office of Public Defense. I first heard about the Big Brothers Big Sisters program when I was invited to sit at Toyota of Olympia's auction table. My whole family works there, and I was prepared for a really fun evening, and I was surprised by just how much that evening touched my life when I learned about the program, and knew that I wanted to get more involved with being a BIG. And I feel like that was the opening to the whole adventure, and I'm really glad that I went. Our worries and our fears about, what might happen with the match totally dissolved, and we very quickly, realized that we were meant to be matched together, and it was very obvious. And so, even though you hear people saying, it'll be a little hard at first, it'll be, a little bit a little bit vulnerable and difficult to get into that space, I feel like instantly we knew that we wanted to be matched together, and it was a really good experience, and so all those worries quickly went away.
It was a good experience. I knew I liked Molly right off the bat. I was like, oh yeah, she's really nice. Like, yeah, and I just felt like comfortable right away. And
I would describe Madison as a bubbly, energetic, and really cool teenager. I feel like she's the most easygoing teenager I've ever met, and she just has this infectious laugh and bubbly personality that draws you to her and really makes spending time with her easy and fun. And you know, I feel like we have just had so many laughs and memories and inside little jokes and things, and you know, I just think Madison is so cool.
Yeah, I think Molly's really cool too. We've definitely just kind of grown together to like know each other and you know about like our family and our past, our history and stuff, and how we kind of relate in that sort of sense.
I feel as though there are things that we knew going in, that we had common interests around. You know, we both wanted to explore our ethnicity and our culture, and what that meant as Hispanic women who were not necessarily raised with those traditions and those holidays and those celebrations. And not having grown up with siblings, the both of us, we have found that relationship later in life, and it's really special that through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, we've been able to gain that relationship. I was adopted at birth, and so I wasn't raised in the culture that I would have been had I been, you know, had I stayed with my biological family. And so I think that's something that I've really enjoyed exploring with Madison. And I know that you have had kind of limited exploration opportunities with your, you know, relationship to being Hispanic, and I think that's something that's special that we can experience together and explore together. And I do think that that is something that is really valuable. Just we're able to relate to each other and looking Hispanic and being Hispanic, but not truly understanding what that means to, you know, to be a Mexican woman that celebrates, you know, your culture and your heritage, and being comfortable with that later in life is just, it's a different kind of adventure that I don't think many people get to embark on, and so how special that we get to do it together.
Yeah, and I did grow up in kind of a, you know, Mexican household, very Mexican like ran place, Eastern Washington, and so it was like a big culture shock when we came here to Olympia, because I was like, whoa, where's everyone at, you know? And it was that kind of loss of that culture, and I came here really young too, so I definitely kind of related to losing that touch a bit, but I feel like it was good to like talk about it.
I think some things that we have done that I really enjoyed often involve art projects. We got to go to the Painted Plate and make some pottery, and you know, we also went to Tugboat Annie's, which I think was one of my favorite outings. Madison and I went and sat by the water at Tugboat Annie's, and there were a lot of fun things that we talked about, and it was just nice to get to sit down and get to know her and work on our relationship outside of the high school match program that we were in. I admire Madison's tenacity and her compassion, and I could tell from the day that we met that she was resilient and she had courage that I just didn't at that age to explore her interests.
Molly is super easy to talk to, and she's like so funny, and she's young, so she like understands my humor and stuff more than my other cousins do or anything. And I feel like I said before, we just feel like best friends, and I really love that, like sisters, best friends, and she's like super easy to relate to. She did get me like a list of scholarships and everything, and we talk about college and like what kind of career paths I want to go down, and just opportunities that could like come up for me to learn more about those kind of things. So I find that like really helpful. I think we, even, you know, when I go to college, I feel like we'll still like be in touch just because we got so close, and we're like getting even closer as the years go on and stuff.
and I met Molly in freshman year, so it's already been, like 2 years. Even just through the like Zoom meetings that we had, and like my camera wasn't working or whatever, we still talked then, and so we're still like, growing and stuff, so I feel like it's just gonna go up from here.
We'll be sisters forever, and when you're in college, I'm sure we'll have fun calls and visits, and I'll come up and visit, and wherever you are, I will never stop being your sister. Sisters forever.
Definitely.
Hi, good morning. I am Roseanne Garman, and I am the president and CEO of RHD Enterprises. I have been a board member for 3 years, and I'm so grateful that you are all here today. I joined the board 3 years ago after I discovered the value of the one-to-one mentoring that Big Brothers and Big Sisters offers our community youth. I'm also a huge fan of the site-based mentoring where different groups can come together and receive this mentoring in a different setting. This type of mentoring can be transformational and life-changing, and as a young woman, I benefited from these types of mentoring growing up. I was raised by a single mom, and while we were rich in love in our home, we did not have very much monetary means, and at times received support from various government agencies. I had various people throughout my childhood and teenage years who stepped in to be mentors for me, specifically Joyce Evans with the Shelton High School Counseling Program, who was there for me during some really challenging times. And I think for all of us, we can identify maybe 1 or 2 people throughout our lives who have provided some sort of mentorship that has changed the direction of our lives. And so today I want to ask you to consider what your donation could mean to a member of our community, a child in our community, by you being a change agent. Can I count on you today to join us with supporting Big Brothers and Big Sisters by donating? Thank you.